Hello, everyone. Another Wednesday, another 11 a.m. We got some cool feedback from last week's call about the runners. So we thought it's a good idea to talk about another sport, upper body sport today. We're talking about lower back pain. We're talking about everything today. Let's bring it on and let's get started.
Hi, everyone. Going from the runner, we want to focus today on the tennis players to kind of get to the upper body. What would you do in a 60-minute training session with a tennis player who either has pain in his shoulder or just overall wants a better serve?
Okay, cool. So the great thing about playing my game of training is it doesn't matter if your shoulder hurts or if your forehand, backhand, serve, volley needs to get better. Because at the end of the day, it's muscle moving bones and bones setting up muscles to do their jobs. So at the end, it doesn't matter. So what would I do with them? It's super simple. I'll do three exercises for the lats for them. Why the lats? Because it's the biggest muscle in your shoulder. Yes, we could do 17 other muscles. That's totally fine. But I want you guys to focus on one thing and get really good at it. Let's break it down. So we need one big muscle. That's your lats. We need three shoulder positions, four shoulder positions for the shoulder, obviously, for bone positions for your shoulder, and we need four rules how to get there. So what does that mean? Shoulder is super simple. We need four positions, which is shoulders back and down. So that means the shoulder blades go in and your shoulder blades stay down. Your shoulder travels forward. So that means your shoulder blades are going to go out and shoulder blades stay down. The third one is it's going to stay in between. I call it neutral, and the shoulder blades still stay down. What's the fourth position? That's actually one we don't want to have is shrugging. That means elevating your shoulder blades. That's cool for reaching a jar of cookies, but it's not cool as soon as you load it. Whatever that's doing a pull up, your serve, never shrug in training. Okay, it's never a good idea loaded. Okay, so these are the positions we need. This is the big muscle we need, and we need to teach the lat three jobs: absorbing, producing, and stabilizing. That's basically all we need to do in that session. What are my go-to exercises for this? So for stabilizing, I'll do the farmer carry. Stabilizing means there's no change, no switch in muscle length. That means you're carrying stuff like in a frame or a farmer carry, doesn't really matter. And your lats just have to stabilize. They don't have to get longer nor shorter, right? That's stabilizing. So that's the first job we have to teach. This happens with your shoulders down and your shoulder blades in neutral, right? The second one is the front rack carry. So you're carrying, for example, a sandbag here. That means your lat has to stabilize. I'm sorry, has to absorb. My bad. Absorbing means that the muscles get shorter. Muscle shorter means what? In If you press your shoulder forward, that means your shoulder blades go out.
Mhm.
Um, this is the absorbing portion. That means your muscle is going to get longer. By moving your shoulder forward, your lat dorsi and your teres major is going to call it stretch, get longer. This is what we want to train while carrying a heavy sandbag in the front rack. This requires your shoulder blades to go out and your shoulder blades to stay down. This is the game we want to play. This is not about the sandbag front rack carry. This is doing the sandbag front rack carry, obeying the bone rules, which is shoulder blades out and shoulder blades stay down. If you don't obey the rules, the sandbag front rack carry won't do anything for your lats, right? If you carry it like this, like shrugging like this, or do anything else, your muscles cannot do their jobs. That's why we need the bone rules. The third one is the rope pulled over the yoke. So you're sitting on your ass. There's a rope over your yoke, and you literally pull the rope towards your chest. This is for learning how to produce tension with your lats. So whenever you pull down, that means the muscle is going to get shorter, right? What's the bone rule for this? Shoulder blade needs to stay together, come together in your bottom position, and guess what? Shoulder blade needs to stay down. So whenever you pull down, your shoulder blades have to move in and stay down. This is to ensure your lat can learn the job of producing tension. This is a super simple session for a tennis player that has either shoulder pain or wants to improve his forehand. Because guess what? Teaching a muscle the last all three jobs is gonna make both of it happen, right? Super simple, 3 exercises, obey the bone rules, know which muscle we want to target, and you're gonna get the results needed.
And would you actually kind of like measure the success of the training session by doing kind of like a pre-assessment and then something like a post-assessment?
Okay. It's actually a really good question because we talked about who's involved, bones and muscles. We talked about the rules, which jobs we need and which bone rules we need to obey. Now we can talk about how we can measure winning. Winning means for the bones, you have to win the last rep. So winning the last rep means now we know where shoulders or shoulder blades and the big thigh bone needs to move, and now we can measure. Okay, on your last rep, is it getting better or is it getting worse? That means on the couple of last pulls on the rope pull, are you going to shrug all of a sudden? That means this set is pointless. The point is of maybe you're going to start pulling like this, which is totally fine, but while getting that knowledge of where I have to end up, you'll realize, okay, I need to do this while pulling. And this is not theoretical concept, is okay, take action, do that exercise. This is how you can measure it. If the last 5 pulls look better, bone rules, jobs, than the first ones did, you have won the exercise that day in that session. This is how we measure winning with bone rules and positions. How do we measure tension winning? Super simple. We do the pump and dump principle, which is, okay, so we're targeting the lats. That means you want to have more pump in the lats than in other small muscles. That means pump in the lats, dump tension in the small muscles. Super simple. You do the first session. You know what you're doing. You gain a little bit of knowledge. You'll feel basically everything, like your shoulder, you feel your biceps, you feel whatever, upper back. And in the third session, you're realizing, okay, I'm getting better at this. And now the pump gets more in my lats and it gets less in my shoulders. This is not a binary system. This is not 1 and 0. This is less of a small muscle pump and more of a big muscle pump. This is how we're going to measure tension. Number 1. Number 2 is we play the ping pong. We've talked about this before. So that means we're adding weight, we're adding sets, we're adding reps, but without losing the focus on the bone position and the jobs your muscle have to execute. This is how we can measure if you're winning. Sometimes this is about weight, sometimes this is about reps, but in every single training session, this is about obeying the bone rules and making sure your big muscles can actually learn the 3 jobs necessary.
Okay.
Long as answer.